Today I am going to put together a Raspberry Pi plus Pisound to run a Looperlative looper. So what I've got here is I've got my Raspberry Pi 4. I've got my Pisound card. I've already got the legs installed on it. I'm going to put those together. So we can see they connect nicely here. Okay, we'll just set that off to the side. Let's get the software going. So I've got a 16 gig. Let's see if we can. That might be hard to see, but it's a 16 gig SDHC card. I've got a card reader here, which I'm going to use to read and write this thing. Your computer, your laptop may or may not have a port for the SDHC cards. If it does, then you don't need the reader adapter. I've got to use the adapter to plug into my computer on the side here, because this computer doesn't have one. Okay, so let's switch over to the computer screen, which is right here. Okay, and it puts up a message because I've actually got something on that card already, but we're going to ignore that. Okay, so I am going to go to the Raspberry Pi imager, which I downloaded from the Raspberry Pi site. So Raspberry Pi imager, it's right there. And yes, it can make changes to my computer. So I am going to choose a device, which will be a Raspberry Pi 4. Choose OS. I'm going to come down to custom. And I downloaded, before starting this video, Looperpi 16gb.zip. That's available on the Looperlative website. And go ahead and grab that, and we'll select that. And then choose storage will be my, well, it says 15.6 gigabyte. The device has 16 gig on it. It's basically the same thing. And normally I would click next here and it would start writing. I've already written to this device, so I don't want to write again. It takes a long time. It takes, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes. I'm guessing. So it does take a long time. It'll show progress as it goes, and you can do that. But I'm not going to do that today because I've already got mine written. Okay, so we're going to go back away from the computer and back to the camera. So I'm going to pull my device out of the slot. So I've got my SDHC card. I'm going to go to the back of my Raspberry Pi 4. I'm going to slide the card into the slot on the back. It's hard to do when looking at the camera. And now I've got this setup, and the thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to actually put this in to a case that I 3D printed. The link to where the 3D printing files are on the Looperlative website. The author of the 3D case says to use 4mm long M2.5 screws. I found that those are actually too short, and I went with 8mm long M2.5 screws. We'll get those all screwed in there. One more and we'll be all done with that. Yeah, I tried to use the shorter ones and they wouldn't reach in actually. So now the 3D printed case comes with a little button. You put the button into the third hole here. So it goes there. This fits in nicely down here. So I've got that much of it done. Then there's a side panel here. The side panel goes over the audio connectors. So then I can screw the nuts back onto the audio connectors. Oops. Got to get them straight, otherwise they won't screw on. So if it doesn't feel like it's screwing, you don't have it straight, and that's what I ran into there. I'm going to go ahead and screw that on there. Yeah, and then I can put my little knobs on the top as well. And I've got it all sealed up in a box now. At this point, I'm going to want to try to configure it. So I'm going to need to connect it up to a few things here. I need a network cable because that's the way the Looperlative configure software is going to talk to it. And I'm going to need a power cable. And we are booting Linux on this thing, so it does take a minute or two for it to power up. I'm going to go ahead and start this thing powering up, and I will then move over to the computer and show you the configure software. So I'll plug that into the USB-C port there. Oh, hard to do when you're not looking at it. Okay, there we go. So that's plugged in. The network cable is plugged in. You probably can't see, but there's a little red glow in there showing that there's power. There's also lights on the network connector. So then we'll go ahead and get ourselves back over to the computer screen. From the Looperlative website, you want to grab Looperlative Configure, and I've got it installed here. If you click on this and it doesn't open up, it's because you're missing the Visual C++ libraries, and there's a link on the Looperlative website which will link you to the Microsoft page where you can get the downloadable libraries and just install those, and you're all good with that. I made sure on this computer I've done that, and I can get Looperlative Configure running. So at this point, I'm looking at, I've got an LP1 version 3.07 because I've already upgraded this one, and it says it's unlicensed. So I need to go ahead and license this. We will go ahead, hang on, I'm going to pause just for a moment here. Okay, sorry for the glitch there. I just needed to sign in my email account. I didn't want to do that while recording. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on Raspberry Pi and plugins. And from here I'm going to put in my email address, which in this case is demo@looperlative.com. You will put in your email address, because if you put in this email address, it's going to send me an email, and that won't do any good. In fact, I will go ahead and I'll probably be deleting this email after I finish recording this video, so it won't even be a valid email. But I am going to click Get Registration Key. And it says that it'll be sent to my email, and it may take up to 5 minutes. And that is true. Usually it's much faster, but it can take longer depending on what's going on the internet. So I'll open up my email. It's not there yet. I'll go ahead and pause the video while waiting for the email to arrive. Alright, so we're back. The email has arrived. It'll show up as coming from no reply at looperlative.com. It says Looperlative registration. I click on it. There's a link in the email. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, there's a link in the email. You got to click on the link, and it'll say verification complete. You can then copy this registration code, and I will take that down to Looperlative Configure and put that key into this box here, and I can now say register device. It will not automatically say that it's licensed up here. It takes away the unlicensed version, but it's not right, so you're just going to have to restart the app. So we'll come back and we'll restart Looperlative configure, and now when it connects, it says that it's licensed. Normally, when you first download this thing, you're going to have version 3.04 in here, so you'd want to hit upgrade. You'll have downloaded 307, so it'll be rpi lp1 307.pin. You'll want that. You'll open that. It will send it to the device. You'll see it here. And when it's 100% complete, it's now going to have to go and reboot the device. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to restart the Looperlative configure as well. So it says no LP connected because the device is still booting up. Oh, and that was pretty fast. So it says it's booted up and it's licensed. So that's all done and ready to